every step of the way, I just kept doing what I could do. And in doing so, everything worked out. Not the way that I would have wanted, not the way that I had planned, but it did.
5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at
the best. Hey there, besties, I'm Lil Shell, and we are becoming our best selves, aka the best, this year and every year, okay? If you haven't already, make sure that you are not becoming the best on your own, because the best never are the best by themselves. What you gotta do is make sure that you are liking and subscribing to this channel to join the best here on YouTube, and make sure that you're sending this to somebody that you want the best for. Now, let's get into today's very unconventional talk. Oh, grab that water and let's go. Hey y'all, so fun story. I'm actually stuck in Denver. It's not funny, but I'm making the most of it. I just wanted to kind of like drop a couple of gems of things that I found out over the last really like 12 hours of just kind of stress, tears, throwing up, sliding down the wall, you know, just the anxiety of it all, right? There's 3 major things that I learned, and I am gonna share it with you guys here today, so buckle up, bucko. It's gonna be a ride. First up, do not let setbacks stress you out of success. All right, one thing about me, I love traveling, right? And so you can imagine my very, very much surprise when after, you know, catching up with family members, getting ready to, you know, get up and get ready to finish out my last day in Denver and get ready to go to the airport. My surprise when the airline reaches out and says that they have canceled my flight. They give me options for other flights to get on. One of them, actually the only one that was a direct flight, is literally an hour from the time that they sent me the information. So I scramble, I'm like, you know, I'm putting everything in bags, I get out of the hotel, I get to the airport, I've got 30 minutes, and I have to check my bag. They don't let me check my bag. I have to now go to the counter. They give me a ticket and then, you know, they say that door has been closed. Then they say, you know, we could put you on a connecting flight, but the airport that I'm going to connect through cannot confirm whether or not it's going to let that plane land in my airport. All of these are setbacks. Were there tears? Yes. Was there anxiety? Yes. Was I metaphorically crying and sliding down the wall? Yes. But even through all of that, I did what I could every step of the way. Couldn't check my bag, went to the counter. Counter gave me an option, couldn't make the flight. Got through, you know, TSA, the gates closed. Every step of the way, I just kept doing what I could do. And in doing so, everything worked out. Not the way that I would have wanted, not the way that I had planned, but it did. I ended up having a place to stay. Additionally, no cost to me. I ended up being able to get not only a flight out bright and early the next morning, but meal vouchers. They didn't send my bag off. I can go and collect my bag because they took my bag when they put me on the second flight that they rebooked me for my bag, and then they took the bag and they didn't take me, and the bag is still here. I don't have to go and try to figure out where my stuff is. All of the stress, all the setbacks never stopped me from putting one foot in front of the other, doing what I could to get the success that I was looking for. And that success is getting home in one piece, okay? If it's a day late, fine. It won't be $1 short. But no, in all seriousness, a lot of times things are stressful. Things aren't going the way you want them. There's a setback after setback after setback after setback. Things that you can't control and could never control, right? But the only difference between me and you in either of these situations is that I just kept going. It doesn't even matter what it is. Oh, it wasn't a flight for me, you know, it was my job, it was school, it was not getting, you know, into the school I wanted. It was, you know, not getting the job I wanted. It was auditioning for something or trying to become a model and it didn't work out. So, why are you letting the setbacks stop you from success? Go another route. Allow other people to help you. Be okay with the path that's unfolding in front of you. Yeah, if I would have watched this video from me 12 hours ago, I would have turned it off immediately. So if you're not in the space in your journey, I get it. But coming out on the other side of it after doing everything I could do and seeing what that got me, don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Don't do everything by yourself, okay? The amount of stress that I had trying to tackle a canceled flight and then getting booked on another flight that didn't accept me and then getting booked on another flight that left me, doing all that, putting all that on my shoulders was exhausting, okay? That's why I was crying and metaphorically sliding down the shower wall, right? And throwing up. That's why that was happening, because I took all of that onto me, okay? Onto me. I took all that onto me. I did not need to. In fact, I know I told you guys in the last tip, put one foot in front of the other. Don't let the stress, that comes from the setback stop you from success. But the key to a lot of that success comes from other people. You don't understand. And, a lot of the stuff I'm going to keep, people's names anonymous and things of that nature, but they know who they are. I got my hotel extended because somebody else on my job advocated for me because they knew we were going to the same airport and their flight got canceled from a different airport, from a different airline than I was flying out, okay? They advocated for me to get an extended room stay beyond what production was offering, okay? Because where else am I gonna go? That was a stress that I took onto myself. Lo and behold, there was somebody that advocated for me, okay? So that I had a place to stay. Do you get what I'm saying? Every person that helped me along the lines of, trying to get me on a flight, trying to get me out of here, trying to get me back home, they didn't have to do that. They could just be like, oh, you missed your flight. Every single person, down to the people who let me through TSA pre-check when I didn't even have the little cart, everybody played their part. The person who gave me the QR code to talk to a live person to get it resolved at the highest level. People helped me, okay? People were who helped me on my mission to successfully solve this problem and get to where I was trying to get to. Through the grace of God, the right people were around me. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can't say that. There are some people that, once you're playing left, you're playing left. And we've all had that experience. They're not trying to rebook you. They're not trying to be accommodating. They're not trying to help. But people, you need, what did Ari Lennox say? I need people. So oftentimes we take on way more than we need to. So oftentimes we're trying to do it all by ourselves and we don't need to. We do not need to. Let people help you. I understand you want it to be the right people. I understand that you don't know who the right people are. Pray about it. Get centered about it. Work on your discernment. You know what I'm saying? Like, really put in the effort to honestly and truly let people help you. Because to be honest with you, nobody can do life by themselves. You're not supposed to. So when things are hard, when things are stressful, I'm thankful that I had people who weren't here who were helping me out, but I'm also thankful for the people who were here, who were in my immediate situation, who thought it not robbery to lend a hand, to the point where my room has been cleaned. I have all the amenities I need. I got the beautiful view that y'all been enjoying in a lot of these recent clips. I have meal vouchers, so I don't have to worry about nothing to eat or drink for tonight. I am getting my itinerary sent custom made by the airline. I am getting the best possible outcome because I allow people to help. You should try it for yourself. You got to do what you can where you're at. Okay, in this stressful situation, even though I was letting people help me, I still did everything I could possibly do at that particular time. Every time. Whatever I could do, I did. And then when everything I could do was done, I then turned my attention to something else that could be productive. Okay? When I did everything else I could do when it came to, organizing the flight, the everything, the whoop, the bam, I turned to myself and I was like, okay, well, what can I do to work with my students inside of the university? What can I do to, do a self-tape or answer back an audition as a model? What can I do as far as scheduling social media posts? Like, what can I now do outside of this that's still going to put me on the path that I want to be on? Even if it's going to take me longer to, get the ultimate solution that I want. Once I've done everything I could with that, what can I do next for me, for the things that I'm working on, and move from there? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when you've done all you can, just stand. If you don't know that song, you should. Look it up, okay? It's very moving. It's going to illuminate a lot of the things that I'm saying, honestly. But that's neither here nor there. Doing what you can where you are oftentimes has a bonus effect of allowing you not to focus on what you can't control. Because when I started to work on the things that I could control, I wasn't thinking about, oh, what's the next airplane's going to take? I did everything I could at that moment. I'm going to focus on this work. And when the hotel called me and said, hey, we have your extended stay ready for you, I finished what I was doing. I went to the hotel, and guess what? Once I got to the hotel, I met up with the person who advocated for me. We went out to town, okay? When I went out to town, I learned so much about the industry that I'm going to be sharing with my students in Model University. I learned a lot about life. I was able to not think about what I could not control. And when I got back here, I had a plethora of solutions that I could now act on, and it's the reason why I'm now on a great flight first thing in the morning, all the additional accoutrements that I could want, right? All those things worked out when I did everything I could do. I didn't let the stress or the setbacks get to me. I let people help me, and then I focused on what I could do where I was at. Now more than ever, you got to pour into yourself. If you are in these situations, you have to pour into yourself. When I actually got done stressing out about the stresses and the setbacks, but I still put one foot in front of the other, got to the success, letting people help me. I started to work on what I could at that moment that was under my control. I realized I did not pour into my cup that morning. I did not pour into my cup. I hadn't read my Bible. I hadn't prayed. I hadn't had no water. I hadn't done my skincare. I didn't do nothing. I got that notification and panicked. Okay, I'm not afraid to say it. Okay, I'm real transparent about the things that I'm telling y'all to work on. I'm not the pot calling the kettle black. I very much so know that I very much so panicked. And it's everybody say it's a natural reaction, but I still did it. And it wasn't until I realized that I had not poured into myself that it made sense why I had so much anxiety, why I was so on 10, why I felt like crying, why I was crying, sliding down the wall, throwing up metaphorically, right? It all made sense because I literally had nothing in my cup. I woke up after 3 hours of sleep in a different time zone, never over the jet lag, being told I wasn't going to be able to go home. Immediate panic mode, okay? If I actually wouldn't have picked up my phone and I would have done my self-care, my flight would have still been canceled, but I also wouldn't have had the roadblocks of trying to get to one airport. I could have actually thought to myself, okay, well, let me check with everybody else to see if they made it to their destinations. If they did, let me just go to a different airport. I just take a longer Uber. That's it. I would have had that solution, and I probably would have been home right now. But again, because I did not pour into myself, because I let the situations that were around me dictate what I did first, instead of pouring into my cup to make sure that I was regulated, to make sure that I actually had what I needed to start my day, everything after that was very much so amplified. Okay, but it did make this last thing that I did more effective. You just gotta breathe. The last thing I could just say is you just gotta breathe, okay? You gotta breathe. There was a time where, after everything was done, I literally, just got on the train. It was a 30-minute train ride to the city. And I did 5 minutes of breath work. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Just to get my body regulated. Because even though I'd done everything I could, even though I had poured into myself, even though I stopped letting the stress and the setbacks, stop me from success, and I let people help me, the anxiety was still there. My body was still on 10, like I was, being chased by, a freaking lion out in the Serengeti. My body could not regulate itself to know that you are no longer in danger. You are going to be okay. My brain knew that, but my body was still on 10. And it was not until I just breath work, just breathe, put on a simple meditation, regulate the breath. From that point on, tranquilo. I learned that word. I told y'all I'm learning Spanish 2 minutes a day. You see it. Okay. But that's something I'm going to leave y'all with, because that's something that you can do no matter what's happening. Okay. Even if you couldn't get the other steps together, you didn't learn the other lessons yet, take this one. Okay. It's the most important, because when you get your breath together, you get your body regulated, you give your mind some time to think, you open up a whole new perspective on what's right in front of you. All right, besties, that's it for today. You know the drill. If you haven't, comment, subscribe, okay? Drop your best tip below. Remember, the best is the best is yet to come, fireworks and all. And I'll talk to you on the next one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.